Hello everyone, and welcome to Michael's Video Game Reviews, and welcome to part 3 of my 700 subscriber series. This one is part 3, the YouTube experience and more Q&As. Now the reason I'm doing more Q&As is I originally kind of changed my mind on the spur of the moment, and I do apologise about that. If I known I had more questions, I wouldn't wait until part 3 for Q&As. But this is cool though, we get like 2 videos of Q&As. And in the midst of answering these questions, I will share my thoughts on the YouTube experience and what it means for me and what it has done for me. But before we do anything, I need a cup of coffee. Right, before we do anything, need a little something extra in there, a bit of cinnamon. I like vanilla, I like caramel, but I do like cinnamon. So we put in about, it's about a spoon and a half full, I'd say. Don't want to overdo it. Oh, oh. Yeah. And now we need a little bit of milk. A bit more, I reckon. Yeah. And then next we warm it up. So let microwave for a bit. So 700. I'll be honest with you, I never ever imagined I would get 700. It is mind blowing. I've seen so many great people who just reach 700 and just explode. I mean, one person is Steve Benway. I'm going to borrow a quote that he used in his 700 subscriber series, and that is 700 subscribers. That's a nice round number. Yep. But anything else from this point is a bonus. I mean, I remember starting off having none or getting 100, and my original goal was just to get to 100. And it's just so great to make videos. I mean, I've even made videos that I wasn't originally planning to make. I mean, I never started off all this to make the podcast, or to help my brother make the Behind the Artist series, or even to do Drinking with Stu videos. And I think that's the great thing about YouTube, is if you do jump in there and make videos, you always end up finding you get dragged into other things. It opens your mind and it makes you want to do things other than what you initially set out to do. Right, I reckon that's warm enough. Okay, that's lovely and warm. See, the reason I do that is you get milk, you get hot coffee, and it takes the edge off it. Plus it stays warmer longer if you microwave the milk as well, and it tastes quite nice. So, and we've got to stir it, otherwise you get the milk at the bottom and the coffee at the top, which is not nice. So what is it I like most about YouTube? Well, what I like is the fact that I get to speak to like-minded people. Now, the chance of me meeting someone who has the same appreciation as I do in life and having a really good conversation is unlikely. Yeah, you meet other people who are video game fans, but people's interest in video games vary. You can get 2 people who have just complete opposite tastes, and it's like, okay. But it's great because you meet people who just have this exact same appreciation, and you talk about it, and you end up having conversations that skewer off video games or things that are, you know, related to video game culture and stuff, or just people's appreciations for it. It's just amazing. Yeah, lovely coffee. You cannot start a day with one of these. Look at that. Lovely coffee. We're nearly there. Nearly there. And that is a perfect cup of coffee. Mmm. Okay, at the moment I'm actually editing a new video, which I will show you. Yeah, this is going to come out probably next week. I mean, it'll probably be finished either later today or early tomorrow, but I'm doing a collaboration with another YouTube user called DrewTap. check him out. He's just starting out actually, and he's doing movie reviews, and he's just actually made his intro, which is blooming awesome. It really just, it's quick, simple, fast, gets you straight into the review, and I think this review is going to be something special. Now, he had the idea of originally reviewing the game and the movie at the same time, and I said to him, well, how about this? What if you do the movie review and I do the game review as I review games? And the idea is, I mean, mine will be finished probably either late today or early tomorrow. His will probably be done, I don't know, within a week of it, I suppose. And we're going to launch them on the same day, put them both up as video responses, have links in the videos to each other's, like, if you're watching the game review, it'll be like, oh, hey, Osu, do you want to watch a movie review? And vice versa for the movie review for a game. And also on my website, when I post the review of this, I will also put a link to the movie review as well. It should be interesting. I've never done that before. So check him out. He's a cool dude. Now here is the newest episode. I will let you know, it is the Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the Xbox Live Arcade game. That's all I'm going to say, no more. But I will give you a sneak peek. Look at that. And you can see the editing process. I mean, this is probably about, I don't know, 60% done. I mean, I've got a bit more to do in the end. I've got to edit in the gameplay. But you can see, this is pretty complicated. This is probably the most complicated review I've done. And I've not even put in the gameplay or even finished the ending. But it's good fun though. And you can see, right, that's all I'm showing you. Yes, I'm evil. Right, so let's do a question next. Right, let's go with, right, Goffman. I hope that's right. If not, I apologise. I think it looks like Goffman to me, right? Right, what is your favourite RPG and why? And for, what is your favourite RPG and why for any system? Yeah, Final Fantasy VII, for lots of reasons. Oh, need some coffee first. Right. Well, one, it was probably the first RPG to just really get me into RPGs. And then after that, it just exploded for me. I just played RPGs non-stop. I went back to the older Final Fantasies. And I mean, I've been playing them ever since. Probably not as much nowadays because, well, with a full-time job, you ain't got the time for it. A 30-plus RPG, and even if you do find the time, you need, what, more than about, what, 3 hours in a session, otherwise it's not really worth playing. But Final Fantasy VII for me was an amazing game. The graphics for the time were mind-blowing, cutscenes mixed with P-random backgrounds and graphics on the top, had an absolutely incredible storyline that just sucked you in. It's got to be one of the best storylines in an RPG I've ever played. I mean, Final Fantasy VIII was good, 9 was very interesting, very back to its roots, 10, very out there, very different. 12, couldn't get into it at all. 11, I tried, but I think I went into it too late, and I don't know, I think if you were there at the beginning, you could have got into it. And the new one, it's interesting, it's different, it's good, but a lot of the time it's the exact same thing over, and it's just a grind fest. Grinding is interesting, provided you have things to, you need breaks from, you need a bit of storyline, you need goals, you need things, but this is just the same thing constantly, and I was so relieved to finish it. And that's not how a game should be. It should be a pleasure from beginning to end, which Final Fantasy VII was for me. To me, the game was perfect, had the right amount of storyline. Everything about the game had the right amount of storyline. Walking around the world, leveling up, materia, equipment, and the times in which you like, you know, when you like do, let's say, a few hours, go to a new town, and you buy new equipment, you check any new magic, and so. That was spot on. It always kept you interested, and you could just stop and explore. There was just so many things. I mean, I doubt I saw everything there was to see in the game. And the first time I played, I didn't even unlock the 2 extra characters, which would have been Vincent and is it Yuffie or Yuku, or that annoying little ninja girl, anyway. But your answer to that question is, it is Final Fantasy VII, and it is just the best role-playing game ever made. The YouTube experience, what was the greatest influence for me? Well, the biggest influence in my life, long before I got into YouTube, was probably my brother Stuart. Now this is the reason why, right? I was very creative as a kid. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I struggled in most classes, and I think the one area where I showed great promise was in art, creativeness, that kind of stuff. And I don't know, I think there were things I wanted to do, and for whatever reasons I was told I couldn't do them, and I kind of lost interest. And for years, that creative spark just, it went out, and I kind of accepted it, but I always kind of missed it. And Stuart was the opposite. I think he was looking for what he was supposed to do creatively wise. I mean, he tried writing, tried poetry, and then once he found music, yeah, he was suckered in. And it always inspired me watching him doing what he loved constantly. And I always liked the idea of making like movies, videos and stuff, but I think 10 years ago, the equipment wasn't really up to it. The editing software was only just coming into fruition. And it was a very much, you had to go to film school, had to use their equipment. Yeah, and I just thought it's a big commitment, probably too big for me. Whereas now, all you need is a half decent camcorder, which quite frankly, it doesn't cost you much. And in order to make a video, you need two things. For people to be able to clearly see you and hear you. Not even see you. Some of the best videos I've ever watched don't even have video. They just literally are someone with a microphone talking over still images. So you don't even need that. You just need a computer and a microphone, minimum, I suppose. That's what I love about it. You know, even if your videos are not that good, just inject a bit of yourself and your opinions into it and put it out there, and you're going to find like-minded people that are just going to love it. That's what I love about YouTube, though. There is no standard of good, rubbish, bad. It's just videos that one person brings out there and another person just finds and connects with in a way that you can't really put into words. Right, let's break this up with another question. Now this one is from the dude I was telling you about earlier. It's either Drew Tap or Drew Tip, or yeah, I think it's one of them two. Right, what is your favourite and least favourite movies of all time? Favourite is easy, Blade Runner. Blade Runner is simply the best movie I've ever seen. And it's not just that, but the first time I watched it, I didn't like it. Well, I didn't get it. But for a couple of years, I don't know, it was there constantly, working its way in the background. And one day I just felt the need to watch it again. And when I watched it, it was like watching a different movie. Or maybe my appreciation for movies and things like that had changed to the point where I was in a position to appreciate it. And it's just, if you're someone who's like starting out in video editing, and wants to learn all the angles, or just literally how to frame up shots, or basically if you want a film to give you inspirations for shots, angles, that film is literally your film bible. It has everything. I mean, a lot of professionals say that every single angle or shot or you'd ever want to film, you can actually see it in that film. And it's just an amazing film. It gets better the more you watch it. It's just so much depth to it. Now, my least favourite movie. This one's an interesting one because if a film's bad, I will not watch it all the way through. I mean, I would stop halfway through if it was that bad. If a film was that bad, I'm not going to watch it from beginning to end and then by the end of it go, that was bad. Instead, I will go with the film that disappointed me the most. Now, I'm one of the many people in the world who have a love-hate relationship with Highlander. I think the first movie was fantastic. I think this TV series was good. I think the animated film they did was absolutely brilliant, but there's just been some diabolical Highlander films. Highlander 3 wasn't actually that bad, actually. Other than one or two plot points which linked that to the series, other than that, it was a half-decent movie. Endgame wasn't bad. I mean, if you accept it for what it was a Highlander tie-in with the movie series and the film series. So you have to kind of forget the movie series and just accept it for what it is. And Highlander Source was just absolutely diabolical. And I actually got to see it a year and a half before it came out in DVD in the rest of the world, because I downloaded a Russian print version. I don't know how much difference there was, but
oh well. But the film that I probably dislike the most is probably Highlander 2. The storyline just made no sense. They try to continue it from the first one, but bear in mind, he was the last one. So they had to get creative to create a sequel, which, yeah. And then, do you know what I did the other day, right? I actually watched a director's cut version called the Renegade version, which attempts to fix all the problems. They removed all trace of the fact they were all aliens from another planet, instead made out that apparently they were from a distant past of this planet, and as a punishment they get sent to the future. They all fight until there's only one left, and he has a choice to either grow old in the present with the prize, or to go back to the time period he came from. Yeah, that made a great deal of sense. And I don't know, I watch it every probably couple of years, and it's like watching Mad Max 3, Beyond the Thunderdome. I keep watching it, hoping it will get better. It's not a bad film. I mean, it looks nice enough, and yeah, it's got a bit of story, a bit of soul, and it's about him regaining pretty much his soul and doing something other than for himself, or directly. I mean, at the end of the day, he didn't have to do anything he did in that film. He could have just walked away and continued on his camel, which is like pulling his broken down van. Anyway, the final answer is, yeah, my favourite film of all time is Blade Runner, and my least favourite is Highlander 2. I think what I like most about making game reviews is I finally get to express myself, and because I mean I like talking, and you know, I like talking in great depths, and yeah, occasionally you meet someone who just loves what you're saying, but most people are kind of like, yeah, that's interesting, no, I'm not really interested, but I'm just being polite. But you know, on YouTube you can put it out there, do a bit of cool editing, and it's a buzz getting responses from people. And I think they're alright. I put a bit of effort in, and I think each one of them I do learn something new. Like scripting is so important. I mean, the first time I scripted a review, I think the content that was in the script was good. I think it was written well, but trying to deliver it in a way that comes across like you're not scripting it is extremely difficult. And it's something I'm not very good at, but I think I'm getting better at it. I mean, the X-Files one I was really proud of, because what I did was I took multiple takes, tried to do it in a very relaxed, casual manner, slow-paced, and what I did, right, to break up each of the main bits, because I tend to record bits in separate bits, I actually did a few improv bits, and they turned out really nicely, and I linked each bit with an improv bit. And what's cool is, if you would look at it, you'd think the whole thing was scripted, and the pace of it was perfect, interesting. I mean, to be honest with you, I always try to make videos that I would find interesting. That's my main goal. I try to make something that if it wasn't me, or I was like, I don't know, like my lost twin across the world watching it, I would enjoy it. But again, he might be evil and he might not be into video games or even YouTube videos. That's enough playing my balls. Need some more coffee. But as I was saying though, I think what surprised me the most is the fact that I'm doing other videos that I wasn't even. I mean, my main goal was to make games about videos, or to make videos about games, and I'm doing the podcast, which is great. I like that because it is quick, fun, simple. The idea with the podcast was just literally once a month, me and Stu can just literally ramble on about, you know, what games we're playing, what movies we're making, and you know, what things we're doing basically. Like a good catch-up as well, and do shouts to the community. And the idea was to try to get people from the community in it, but I mean, be honest with you, I mean, they haven't been monthly. I think at the moment they ended up being about a month and a half. So I'm hoping we'll get one out this week or next week. And the best thing about that is the 15 minutes been capped for some. I think it's for people who've been on for longer than a year, who haven't got like a strike. Or, I don't know, I mean, I did get a warning on my Thriller video, but even still, they give me the option to make videos longer than 15 minutes. Now, quite frankly, I have no need. I mean, a review, other than other than 2 reviews which were literally just on the 10-minute mark. I think I did one review that actually ends exactly on 10 minutes. I did my Game Doctor, my Super Nintendo Game Doctor one, which was a struggle to fit into 10 minutes, and the Norwich Game and Engine one, which by that point 15-minute limit was in place. I was able to do that in about 12 minutes, quite comfortably. And the given that there's new limit, or no limit, is it's perfect for doing the podcast, because up till now I was doing it as multiple part videos, 15 minutes, which, yeah, it's fussy, and I think it doesn't help. Some people might just watch one bit and not bother, whereas if it's one video, you haven't got to click to another one, and it should be a lot better. More coffee. So, what is the future for Microstrategy Game Reviews, or for me making videos? Well, I want to keep making the podcast because it's a good laugh and it's easy to make. You know, literally, it probably takes the time it takes to listen to it, and probably half that again to edit it. It's a fun, quick process, and it's good fun to make. Stu's beer reviews, or Drinking with Stu. Once I finish doing that beer box, it will all just be him, and I'm looking forward to doing that. I think he's the perfect man to present it. I mean, I like doing it, but he has natural charisma. Not that I don't, but mine's kind of game and charisma. And I imagine this year we'll probably do at least 1 or 2 behind the arse. And what I'm planning on doing, right, is using the leftover footage from parts 2, 3 and 4 and creating an episode called Behind the Artist, The Leftovers. Kind of like a B-sides album. Because we've got loads of great content that I couldn't use for time restraints or just for pacing, but I think put together would be to make something pretty interesting. And keep making game reviews. I really do feel I found my stride, and I think the only ones I officially count as my reviews are probably from the Policenauts one, and there was probably about 5. I think in total, from the Policenauts one to the newest one, I've done about 20. I think this one I'm working on is 22. There's about 5 I wasn't really happy with, but apart from them 5, I'm happy with the rest. And I think the last, like, I don't know, 8 reviews I've been really impressed with. I mean, the Die Hard one was a bit rushed, but apart from that one, I think the last 8 I've been really happy. You know, I think I've found my stride, and I'm really enjoying making them, and that is my main focus, is to keep making them. And there are 2 other things I want to do this year. I do want to make a movie. Nothing major, nothing special, just a cheesy horror flick. You know, just something really, you know, you leave your brain at the door, you know, bad script, cheesy, but hopefully will give you a few jumps. I think I'm good enough to make a cheesy, crappy horror flick. And I also want to make another documentary, but it's rather personal. You know, it was about someone who wasn't well, and he's better now, and I wanted to talk about it, just to raise awareness, basically for what he went through. And my main reason is, I could raise money for that charity for the thing he went through, and yeah, it would help, but I think raising awareness would do far more good for it, and that's what I want to do with that. So that's my plans, to do some more Behind the Artist, to do another documentary, to at least make a movie. That's my goal for this year, to make a movie, more Drinking with Stu episodes, more retro game reviews, the podcast, and also I want to finish off the website, which is nearly finished. There's only about two sections, and then once I finished it, start working on version 2, with using version 1 as the one I'm keeping up to date at the moment, and then at some point just switch the plug and switch over to version 2, which is going to be a lot better. So to end this video, well, need some more coffee. So what does the future of YouTube have in store? My personal opinion is I think the thing with the internet is to have this, you got to go there. To have that, you got to go there, and there. And the thing I'm noticing is how these social networks, video networks, are all coming together, and that's how I see it going. I imagine you go on the internet and everything's rolled into one. All your experiences will come together as one experience. and I can see YouTube, Google, Facebook, MySpace, everything kind of rolling into one, and you just literally go onto like a super social network, which you find everything you need on there, from reading some documents to watching a video to socializing, having everything in one place. I think that is the way YouTube is going. Other than that, I can't really say anything more than that. I mean, we can do videos in high definition, we can do videos longer than 15 minutes, so I can't really see much more within just YouTube changing in the immediate future. I think it's going to be more of the same thing. Anyway, I want to thank you all for watching. Thank you for also watching, me ramble on stuff. I hope you enjoyed it. I mean, it's just, I didn't want to do anything over the top, just something simple, answer a few questions, give my thoughts on a few things, and of course show you how to make an awesome cup of coffee. So once again, I want to thank everyone for subscribing. It really means a lot, and it definitely is a fuel for which keeps me going. So I want to thank you all. I really do appreciate it. And I wish you all a very, very great 2011. And I'm going to get back to edit my video. Do, 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 do.